What happened to the Joe Rogan clip you were going to play Monday but put off till Tuesday? Did I miss it from yesterday's show, or did you forget to play it? Says Moses. In fact, we have that clip. It's a little bit long, but we have time to play this. We won't play the whole thing, but here is Joe Rogan. I think it is. This is Joe Rogan explaining why Gavin McInnes is having to leave and lamenting on it. And this is what this is what is problematic. And it's not that what Rogan says in and of itself is problematic. The problem is, like, this video, how many millions, like, it's like 1 million views, right? I mean, every video he does gets 500,000 views. And they are all, what is this on this one? How many? They are all young. They're, I don't know if they're all young people, but they're
like Huddersville or Baraboo young boys.
Yeah, I mean, and so when Rogan, who is a the source of like news and understanding and analysis for so many people, it's really dangerous to sort of say like, this whole thing was a misunderstanding. But let's listen to what he says about Gavin McInnes having to step down or not step down, and Gavin McInnes step away. And we should also just add that Gavin McInnes says there was no leaders. He was never the leader of the Proud Boys. He was just the founder. So he wasn't really stepping down. He was just disassociating himself. The Proud Boys then came out and said, we have a replacement for Gavin McInnes. It's our lawyer, who's a nut job in and of himself. Also a clear racist. But why would you replace somebody who was never your leader in the first place?
You can't really replace a founder.
Right. That's weird. But continue.
And look, it's one of those fucking things. You want to have a group, you can't control everyone in the group. So anybody in the group that does something horrible, I just sent you something. Pull this up. This is Gavin's response to all this, because so many people got mad at me that I had Gavin on in the first place. But first of all, I had Gavin on because he used to be one of the founders of Vice. Yeah. Also because I had Gavin on before that, and he was fun to hang out with. Then when I had him on
Did he become weird now?
When I had him on the last time, one of the things that he was talking about was the Proud Boys. I didn't even know what the fuck that was. I think maybe I had heard of it, but I thought it was a joke. Turned out it used to be a joke. It started off as a joke on Compound Media, and Anthony will get into it better. He knows the history of it, but they were making fun of something, and they decided to make a fake mock group called the Proud Boys. Now, the problem with this is when you have a group that's supposed to be fighting Antifa, and I actually tried to express this to him when he was on the show, because he was talking about kicking people's ass. We're going to punch them in the face. I'm telling him to punch people in the face. I'm like, okay. That's not how reality works. Like, I don't know if you've ever been punched in the face or if you've been around people that like to punch people in the face, but you don't just punch someone in the face. What happens is you punch them in the face, they come back with a bat, somebody gets a knife, people get guns. It always escalates. It's going to keep going. You don't just get away with punching people in the face. And yeah, it's not good that these Antifa people bring bike locks and smack people in the heads with them, and that's kind of the point in that in the first place. Those people don't understand what happens when you start the chain of violence. Yeah. When you start that domino chain, they don't understand what happens.
Pause it for 1 second. See, here's part of the problem, okay, is there's a fundamental misunderstanding as to what Antifa is. He is conflating some groups of people who are who either protest or may use black bloc tactics with Antifa. Gavin McInnes at one point in his Swan Song video said, the Proud Boys never go to Antifa rallies and harass them. That's because the Antifa doesn't have rallies. They are a reaction. They are definitively, definitionally, they cannot exist as, and they don't, there is no group Antifa. There are people who decide to go out and fight against fascists. And it may have started as a joke, but for whatever reason, I have a couple ideas. Gavin started carrying it into an organization that he could monetize. And all right, continue. So this notion that somehow Gavin was responding to the people who were responding to Gavin is not correct.
Not to mention, it is literally an initiation rite of the Proud Boys to beat up a leftist or a liberal.
Continue.
Think that they're living in some fucking book that they love about some revolutionary liberal character that, you know, reaches out and smashes all these oppressors of social justice.
Jay.
That's not reality. In reality, you just hit a guy with a lock who's talking to you. You assaulted him with a deadly weapon, and the next thing you know, they're going to kill you, or they're going to beat you, or they're going to punch you. So when a guy like Gavin says something like, you should punch them in the face, I understand why he said that, because they were inciting violence. These Antifa people would hit people with things. They're wearing masks. Some of them were doing it non-violently. Some of them just wanted what they thought was the right things to happen. But like all groups, you get a fucking big group. You can't control everybody in the group. And that happened with the Proud Boys.
No, it's not what happened with Proud Boys. Because you can go online and you can see Gavin purposely inciting violence, calling for violence. This is not
On his show. Though.
on his show, in other shows, on Rogan's show. Yes, and you can't be responsible for every member of your group. But if you say, go commit violence, and you have initiation rites that are violent, then chances are you're going to get some violence. But continue.
Too, I think he decided to have this thing that was going to, you know, mockingly oppose Antifa. Then it became real, and then it became violence. And this is just one of the problems that people have when there's a fucking group of people opposed to another group of people. And, you know, him quitting the Proud Boys is definitely smart, but I don't think it's going to help, because now people are they're saying he's a white supremacist. And what the perception that people have of you is almost as important as what you actually do.
It's probably even more important.
Almost.
Yeah. Because
not for you and not for me, not for people that are going to actually read into it, but for people on the outside, the perception of who you are is too many things to learn. Okay, he's a racist. Oh, fuck that racist. That's all people hear. Yeah. That's all they say, and then they keep moving. Meanwhile, you got a guy who's Gavin, who, first of all, he's not even American. He's Canadian. Second of all, he's married to a Native American woman. He is not a racist. He said he's a provocateur, 100% unquestionably. He says ridiculous shit because he thinks it's funny, but he's boxed himself into a very bad situation.
As almost a troll, or like,
yes.
I didn't even think, I know him.
Now, I mean, look, I can only tell you that I know that nearly all of Gavin's friends from a couple of years ago are no longer friends with him. I mean, it may be every single one. And it's not because they have a arm's length perspective on what he's doing. It's because they see up front what they're doing.
Oh, I thought it was because he's not funny.
It is,
he's a tryhard.
You know, when you sit there and you say, you know, people just look at the surface and they don't look what goes beyond it. And he's got a Native American wife, as if that all of a sudden he can't be a racist. He can't be doing anything that's racist. Or there's members of the group who are black. Or there's members of the group who are Latino. They can't be doing, definitionally, they can't be racist. No, that's not true. I mean, that's not true. You can promote anti-Semitism and have a grandchild who is a Jew. You can be racist and own slaves. You know, you can have sex with one of your black slaves and still be racist.
I just thought a ban. I just thought a ban. Oh, I'm a fucking Jew, grandkid.
Right.
No one ever told me.
I mean,
fuck.
Honestly, like this, it is more nuanced than that. And really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what's in your heart. The perception of what you put out is a function of what you put out as a public figure. This is the thing, is like they want to judge Gavin based upon their personal relationships with him. And the bottom line is it's irrelevant. 99% of what Gavin is, and the only reason why anybody's talking about him, and the only reason why he has to disassociate himself from that group, is because of what he's done publicly, because of the perceptions he's created and that have caused other people to act upon. That's the only thing that's relevant here. This is not Joe Rogan at a bar talking about one of their friends. This is Joe Rogan broadcasting to literally 1 million plus people.
That's too many.
I mean, whatever. It's just that you got to take some responsibility for the
Fuck you
implications
forever.
of
That's
what
my
you're saying.
common quote I say. It's fuck you forever. We're done.
Fuck you forever, we're done. That's
But-
my common quote I say when David Cross stops returning my text.
We really need to make some inroads into the like stoner college bro dorm room community.
Fuck
I
you
think
forever.
Counter
That's
this.
what I say when
this
What's that?
nonsense.
I know. You gotta smoke more weed, watch more MMA.
Yeah, like Joe Rogan is the smartest one of those guys right now. But if you became one of those guys, huh?
That's gonna take a lot. I think it's gonna take. I'm
It's
gonna have to wait.
Have you ever done DMT? I just like thought about shit. Like, it's like Social Security. Like, they want to fucking cut it.
All right.
But it's there.
All right, I get
It's
time for
like,
one more call,
It's fucking
and-
solvent.
Call him from 734 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?